wrestlers with open arms. In the heat of the struggle, we feel no harm. Through the fingers grip like steel too strong. Together we thrive like a thunderstorm.
There, we're live. How's it going, boys?
Hey, man.
Excellent.
Hey. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting better, eh? We got intro. I even got, hey, look, you see what I added, Dakota?
With Jad.
Brian Parliament.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Moving up
Weak
in the
arm
world.
wrestlers.
Yeah, see, big event, March 15th. LAWC presents Iron Core Arm Wrestling League. See?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
buddy. You're getting free advertising here.
Good rights, boys. 7 belts up for grabs for this one.
What classes, Mike? Let's start off right with that.
Well, there's the 176 left and right, the 220s left and right. Dusty's giving up his 242 left belt, so it'll be the 242s. And then there's one super heavyweight and one left hand 155 belt. That's going to be
Nice.
up for grabs.
So is the
Plus-
right hand super heavyweight up for grabs?
I think Len's got that one right now.
Oh, does he?
So the winner will be the number one contender for that one.
Oh.
Will that be the same for 98s for Mason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that winner will get $200 too for each arm.
Oh,
too.
yeah, that's right.
That's sweet.
right.
So it's
Yeah,
$200 no matter what, but if you win one of those classes, it's a belt as well.
Yeah. So,
Awesome.
and here's the thing is Jay's backed me up here what we decided, because last year Mason took home a bunch of belts and,
Yeah.
and and that's fine. But going forward, you can enter whatever class you want. And if you win them all, you get to pick one belt.
Yeah.
And that's, for
That's your
example,
class.
Dakota, you win the 220 belt and the 242. You keep the 220 belt, and the 242 second and third will fight for the belt, and you'll still get the money for the winning the 242 class.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
And then now we don't have two belt holders, and then winning second place and just giving a belt is not as good as the two guys going after it for the belt.
Yeah,
You know
fair
what I
enough.
mean?
And
So-
currently, right now, we don't have any belts available for the masters classes, but we're gonna change that. We're gonna
Yeah.
definitely add those in the future.
Oh, count me in. I'll be going for one.
Yeah, 6 more belts is all it is, right? So,
Mhm.
and maybe one of our sponsors will help us with that. Seeing so, man, our sponsors are pretty badass for this tournament.
Well, you're
We
gonna.
got close to $5,000 in sponsors.
Well, we're gonna, as we grow, we're gonna look. We'll probably sponsor you guys down the road. We are growing and able to do that a bit now. So
Yeah, I talked with Ronnie at our last tournament at
Yeah,
Christmas
no.
time, and he's got a lot of stuff on his brain,
I know
what he
you
wants to
did.
do with your league, and it sounds exciting. It does. Hopefully, you
Yeah.
can get off the ground everything you guys want to do.
Oh, I'm not involved in any of it anymore. I'm done. Yeah.
You moved on, did you?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
A
yeah.
while ago now.
Yeah. About 9 months. I don't know, 10 months ago. It was shortly.
Got it after the summer, dear.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Actually, yeah, because you know what? It was just he has to, like you said, he has lots of ideas and he has big ambitions, and I wish him the best. But yeah, I didn't align in all of them, and it was just too much at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I know his ambitions, and if he can ball through with them, good for him, man. That'd be awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys
Yeah. I mean,
are all coming down this
Yeah.
weekend then?
Yeah, we'll be there. My dad, myself, Brian. I don't know who else is coming. Is Zach coming, Brian?
I don't know. I think Cody wanted to come, and if he comes, I don't know why he doesn't bring Zach with him.
I think
Yeah.
Cody is coming. Yeah, he's not on my rig anymore. So
Yeah, I think he said that he wanted to meet up with me on the Saturday, but I'm coming in Friday. So
and I
Right
think
on.
some Edmonton guys are coming down because Kathy's coming, and then Griffin, like the dad, he texted me too. So
oh nice. That's good.
Yeah. yeah.
Yeah.
got a few Montana boys planning on coming down as well.
Yeah, a whole
Are
bunch
any
of
198 Montana boys coming though?
Miles.
I don't know.
No,
Miles
Miles
is
is 220.
Oh, is he
yeah, or
220 now?
215 or
Miles
whatever. Yeah.
is pushing
Oh, okay.
220. Yeah.
Joe Fair might be coming with Dustin, maybe.
Oh,
Um,
sweet.
yeah.
Dion and them are coming, aren't they?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Trying to think
Andrew's
who
just
else.
gonna wait because he doesn't want none of this till he's scared.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dude, I
You
thought
guys
that
know a
was
good
so
guy.
funny, Brian, on that review you did with him when he was talking about Dalton. I was
Yeah.
like, or Declan, sorry.
Declan.
Declan.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Declan. Yeah. Yeah, he's saying he's unmovable. So,
Yeah, man.
For
I don't
him,
know.
for him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's just it. I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, competition and practice are different too. So,
This is
You
his
bet it
first
is.
super match.
yeah,
But
yeah.
So
it's not like you guys
I
know what you're talking about because you also bet against me on the last super match, and that didn't work out too good for you boys.
I don't know if I did. Did I? Who did you pull
No,
again?
Jared.
Jaron Blackmore.
No,
Yeah,
no, you
left and
crushed
right.
him. You were way
Yeah,
too
I
strong
did.
for him. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Since James is that's what I'm
But I
saying
did.
is
You know why though, James? Is because he does that press that Zach does, and I thought maybe he'd give you trouble with the press, and that's why
Zach's engagement on that press
it's
is
different.
right at the start.
Yeah,
He's got the right angles, and like we talk all the time after, and I always ask him like, "What am I not giving you, or giving you that you're feeling that maybe I'm giving up?" And he'll always say, he said to me multiple times, "Is that the angles? That's a big part of it. My setup and angles. If I know I want to hit him with a top roll, in order to try to get away from some
you
of
gotta
that
pull him out
press."
a little bit.
I need a better angle in order to hit it.
More of
Otherwise,
a back angle.
yeah. Otherwise, he's driving across my arm
Mm-hmm.
and easily engaging the press. And if he's fast, which he is, I almost have no stop. I have the same problem with Vitali because Vitali gives me the same kind of thing. He shuts down my hook in a hurry, and part of that is angles and speed. It's one of the things I'm aware of and I got to work on. But arm wrestling, we just keep growing.
Yeah, we do. We get better and better and better.
Mike,
And
are
and
you
I,
pulling?
I love
Oh,
about the sport, and I love about what you guys are doing is about elevating everybody around you to be a better athlete as well. As much as Dakota gets into his matches and you see how excited he is for the wins, he's also the first guy to pat a guy on the back to tell him you know what went wrong, what's good, and what's bad,
yeah,
and how we
Yeah,
can get better. It's the best
exactly.
sport in the world, Matt.
Well, that's why we did this podcast. We did this podcast for
Mm.
all of you guys. Like that's
yeah.
why anybody that wants to come on the pod, I've never turned anybody away, like ever. So
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
yeah,
Huh.
and we love having you guys on too, right? So
well, and the
What
thing
were you
is,
gonna say, Dakota?
first off, I was gonna say I'll close up this topic, then I'll ask you what I was gonna ask you, Mike. But we did this podcast too because we see a big vision one day. We're like, we have a lot. Like Jerry was on, and we had 35, people watching at one time, and like even though that doesn't seem like a lot, that's quite a bit for a small channel like ours. And we're gonna
Absolutely.
get to the point. We're gonna get to the point where we got 200, 300 people watching this, and learning about all these people, who they are, and it's just the networking of the sport. And I really think that we're going to be a hub to the point where it's like you jump on here, you talk for a bit, and people are going to become fans of you if you promote yourself properly. And
Absolutely.
this is going to be a link for promoters to look at and go, okay, this guy seems like we can really sell him. Let's get him on one of our cards. And so I think that's a fun thing to look at. But I was
Absolutely.
just asking if you're a 198er now, Mike, or if you're pulling 220s.
Well, I weighed in last weekend at 203, and no, I'm not interested in trying to get below 200, and because I'm usually right around 205 to 210, and after 3 weeks of at work and eating really clean and stuff, and I feel good there, and I'm not interested in trying. If I were to weigh in at 198 by chance, I would obviously pull, but I'd still pull the 220. That's my. I'm
Yeah.
not ranked in there anymore, and it pisses me off because I'm not even ranked in the 200s because I pulled them last year, but not enough. But I'm still in the
Yeah.
220s, down in 20th spot, so I want to get back in there again.
yeah, I hear
Have you heard anything about like Scott or Mason or any of them 198ers coming down? I'm just curious what that class is going to look like.
I think they were when I got to go up there and practice with them boys, and I think some of them were trying to come down. I think Mason and his dad and Bonnie were. I think they might. So they were
Okay.
they were trying for sure. So
Sweet. I might have to shoot him
Did you hear if Josh is coming?
he wants to come, and I think it actually has to do with the schedule too. I'm pretty sure if he can be here, he's coming.
That'll be fire. I don't think
And
Josh is
Caleb,
in our club yet, so
no, and
good.
I'm pretty sure Caleb wants to come too. Caleb Preborn too.
That'd be amazing. I'd like to see Caleb start coming to these. It's needed.
So
I
yeah.
mean, he's been to our event a couple of times, and he's
Yep.
always, done very
Did
well.
well. Yeah, he had a super match the last time he was there with Dustin.
Realistically, he's like Dustin's last legit lost on his left, and he lost in elbow valves, but he's still so that could be a pretty fun match, maybe too, for fun if
Didn't
they
Sean
met up.
beat?
Caleb's
Didn't Sean beat
back
him last year
pressure
on the
is
left?
next level, man.
I
And a
thought-
super match.
No, not on the left. He got him on the right. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Caleb is the last one, I think. I think you're absolutely right. And Caleb's a
But then
beast right
Dusty
now.
did beat him in the tournament 2 or 3 times after that. But
What about them Medicine Hat boys? Do they got any 198ers out there?
well, Eugene is a 198. I'm not sure if they're coming. And I think because Eugene's pool is 198, Sergey will be in the 220s. I think they got a couple other guys now too.
Sergey,
and
there's a guy who's a beast right now.
Yes, man, and Fraser's sending some boys down too. He said
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
so. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good. Last year we had over 200 entries. It'd be nice to be able to break that again or beat that
Oh,
again.
should.
And what's the new venue looking like?
Were you at the other one last
It
year?
was the same one?
Yeah. We just got a new clubhouse. Is where we're moving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the place. It's called the place, right?
Yeah, you betcha.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like
okay.
that
So
spot,
it's the after polls are at the new clubhouse, I'm assuming?
I'm gonna ask if we can't. Last year we were allowed to be at the place, but it got too busy and stuff. So more than likely, we'll see how everybody feels, but more than likely be at the club, eh, James?
Yeah, I mean, it often falls apart at a certain point where people, break apart. They're going home or they're moving on. So you can make a plan to have it at the club or to have it at the venue, and it kind of organically goes one way or the other.
By
Whatever
the
we
time
plan
I was gonna
for,
say,
it may not
people-
end up that way, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, people who want to come will come wherever it is, and people who don't are going to leave. So
That's
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
That's at the end of the day, that's how it goes.
Scott and them aren't able to make it, unfortunately.
Well, you'll leave some cash up for everybody else then. That's
yeah, I
good.
was going to say 198 might be up for grabs then. Well, because really, right arm, the only people I lost to in Hinton were Jesse Harrow, Scott, and Mason. I don't think
Yeah.
any of them are coming. So realistically, I feel like unless Eugene is obviously a huge ask if he shows up, but other than that, I think I have a chance against almost anyone on
There's no
Alberta, to
belt
be
I can go
completely
for. That
honest.
sucks. I thought.
What
That
did,
Well, the left arm super heavyweight
yeah,
belt.
I can't pull left arm. I suck.
Well,
see
you
how
could be
happy-
number one
what did
contender
Harold
then.
give you last time?
Did you see how happy I was at your last little event when I pulled left-handed for the first time? I got some pins. I was like jumping around, freaking out. I was like, I actually pinned people. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I did pretty good actually. Only by
Yeah, man.
but,
That was a great time.
oh yeah. I know I got my redemption and yeah, it was good. I went undefeated in the tournament. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. It was a good time. And that was my first win since my very first tournament.
Oh, nice.
I always come second all the time. Yeah.
Always a bridesmaid, eh?
Yeah. So
That's funny.
yeah, no, that was good. I like that event. You should
And
do that
this
every
is
year.
just a tournament, right? No super matches?
Yeah. No, there was none this time around. So
There will be next time though. It
Yeah,
sounds
Well,
next
like.
time
that's
we'll
the
have
thing,
belt
yeah.
challenges. Yeah. Next time
If
there'll
it
be belt
worked-
matches.
yeah, absolutely. We could have got some girls, but with the club moving, tie passing, and me being gone to try and organize stuff, and with 8 belts up, it's kind of hard. So we just thought give everybody these belts out, and then we can kind of start over again.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you know what I mean, how it worked out last year with Mason and stuff. So, but
Do you
Yeah.
guys plan on doing this a once a year thing or twice a year?
at least twice, yeah.
Mm.
Maybe hopefully in October. Because then Grand Prairie has their thing, and then Edmonton has their thing, and not really much happens in October, I think.
Boise here would be good, man, because especially now that you got belts, it gives people an opportunity to say, okay, now I'm the number one contender over the summer. I'm going to train like a maniac and
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And with our venue being free, and he's also a sponsor too, we potentially could have a super match Saturday, and then maybe a three weight class tournament or something. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Do like rectal halls.
Exactly. Yeah. And that could be some of our belt matches, because it might be a lot to do at one event, where if we could split them out through the year with have 3 events or something would be cool too, right? So
yeah, it would.
But we got some other opportunities with sponsors and other venues that are approaching us too. So in our end of things are kind of looking up too with the new clubhouse. So
how's the new clubhouse?
Also, Mike, did you mention the trophies that are up for grabs in the pros? There's a 2-foot trophy for that first place, and then it kind of comes down from there. We got there's like 90 trophies that are up for grabs.
You didn't mention that. You didn't mention that. No, that's a lot.
Yeah, dude, they're big. Yeah, James did the trophies this year, got them all, and then we got medals for the amateur. And then what did you say that big one was for the Tai Seiko one? It was like 30 inches.
36 inches, something like that. Yeah.
Who wins the Tai Seiko one?
That's going to be for the best puller of the whole tournament, like male, female, youth, whoever, you know what I mean, displayed it. Because Ty was a sportsmanship, but he was basically the best guy at any fucking tournament that he went to.
True.
You know what I mean? So, and then we'll have the Grinder Award in memory of one of our other lost pullers there. And that we give out every tournament for the best match, whoever it is, youth.
Yeah.
And we'll leave that all up to the refs. So that'll be up to you boys, Brian.
Yeah.
To decide those awards.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, so will the best puller be. I mean, we want to get your input on who you guys think that is.
Yeah.
You'll see the matches closer than we will.
Yeah. Well, I'm up in the air on which class I'm pulling, because I said I'd pull one class because I'm reffing. I can't overdo it anyway. But well, you know what? Number one contender, and if there's a trophy, it's still worth doing. So I might.
And money, Brian. There's always incentive, man.
Yeah. No, but I was debating between masters, because I'm only going to pull one. I can't pull both. I won't have enough. Not to stand around reffing all day. So it's either going to be masters or it's going to be the pro supers. And if Josh was coming, I wasn't going to compete in the pros, just because I know what the outcome. Every time I hit into him, it's like a fucking wall.
Well, you'll be able to get redemption on Byron again. I'm pretty sure he's coming down.
Oh, I'm happy. I got lots of redemption on him last time. He's the one that needs redemption now.
That's right.
Yeah. I hope I motivated him to train. Yeah.
What's that guy's name at the Lethbridge Club who I pulled long time ago? Mike, there's that picture where I'm pinning him and you're laughing in the background.
Oh, Judd.
Is he pulling?
Yeah, no, he's not a tournament guy at all. He absolutely hates every aspect of a tournament arm wrestling. Okay. And you know what? He's one of my best friends. I've known him for like 30 years. But if he doesn't start like this and like this, he doesn't want to arm wrestle you.
Okay. No,
there's no free. Yeah. But he's fucking strong right now. Dude, like
he's fucking strong.
Yeah, like he stepped away for a while and just been kind of training on his own and doing that stuff. He comes back and he's just ripping everybody apart. So yeah, but I don't know if he said he's not going to pull. He didn't pull the other one either last year. He does not like the. He said if we could have refless arm wrestling, he would do that.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Okay, Devin.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I know. He's one of those guys that starts like this.
Oh, you go and he says go.
A couple of new pullers that are moving up pretty good. We got a young guy, Braxton. He's definitely gonna kill the youth. Like the dude's super strong. Like Ryland won our tournament, Blackmore, but before that he lost a super match to Braxton fairly easily. Of course, they weren't in the exact same weight class, but still, Braxton's still just a young kid.
Oh yeah, I remember it.
And he's only been pulling for 7 months.
Yeah, and Jason as well. He hasn't been pulling for a full year yet.
Oh,
and he's
Jason,
moving up.
Jason's gonna
He's
be
moving
good
up
one
fast.
day. Jason's gonna be
Yeah.
good one day. Yeah,
Well,
he's
he's
just
got all the
got
strength. He just needs more time on the table.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I was working with him last time I was there, and yeah, he was strong. He just got to dial it in, slow it down, and
Yeah.
start feeling, not redlining all the. See, his problem, why he can learn a lot quicker, and I'd like to talk to him more. He needs to stop redlining so damn much.
Yeah, he knows that. Get control more
And start
control.
feel the holes, feel the path,
Yeah.
because he
That's
redlines
what he's
so
been
much.
doing now. Yeah.
Oh, is he
Yeah.
doing that now? Okay.
Yeah, you bet he's kind of honed it in, not so much go there. You know, he's
Yeah,
learning
yeah,
now,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Because he was just like, just go.
That's how he
deep in.
works too. That's his mentality. Like his whole
I know.
life is probably like that. Even walking
Yeah.
down Walmart, I bet he's there and out in 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just the way, yeah, that's just the way he's wired, eh?
no, I
All or
get it.
nothing at all times.
But he'll learn more and he'll get better
Oh,
progress if he just slows it down and feels
yeah,
it, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
you betcha.
I
Mike
used
says
to
that
do
like he's not that exact same way.
Yeah. When I started the first year, I used redline all the time. And then when I stopped doing that, I actually started learning because
Yeah.
when you redline and you're not thinking, you're not retaining what you're doing, right? You're just like,
You know what? I went to practice at the LAWC's last winter, and they would not. One time did I ever see anybody pinning unless they were actually going to have a bit of a match. But it was, and I kind of brought that back, and we do that at the clubhouse a lot more. Less worrying about the pin and just working now. You know what I mean? So I like it. You know.
well, we started this game, me and Sean, called the counter game, where you go about 70%. You go just enough where it's like, you're actually getting something, but not enough where the other guy can counter you. And what we do is we just counter each other back and forth. He'll top roll me, I'll suck him into a hook. You know what I mean? He'll low hand me, I'll fly in for a press, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we'll keep it 70% and we'll just continually counter each other. And another one we like to do now, we just started doing it a few times, is we do a setup thing where we have someone reffing and we set up and we get ready, like we're just gonna fire. And then when he says go, we just stop, don't move, and we analyze our setup.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
got the best setup? You know what I mean? Why am I, I'm more dominant, and you know what I mean? He won like 70% of the time, Sean. He's actually pretty good in the setup, but I got a few.
Well, that's what me and Corbin been doing too. And like, if we can not going about just working out 3 days a week on the table, and the other
Yeah.
times are weights, but because tomorrow it hurts. It fucking hurts so much at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's what my dad and I have been doing too. I think a lot of people realize that and hitting a battle zone, because like my dad didn't even pull the same way at all. And
No.
it's a lot of him being stubborn and me telling him what to do, which I know sounds funny, but whether he likes it or not, I am more technical than he is. And I've pulled more
times have
people.
changed too. Yeah, times have changed for your dad too. You know what I mean? He
But
was super fast, but if you could stop him, you got him. But now
He
he's got
changed it
different
a bit.
tricks.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
changed it a bit. I was studying
Yeah.
it. Kids, I got to go against him.
the thing is there cash for grandmasters and masters too? Is it every
Not
class or
yet.
just the pro classes?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the pro for now. You bet.
Yeah, that's what I
We'll
thought.
try
But
and get there.
Oh, of course. I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? And I mean, $200 is a lot of money for each weight class, even pros itself. Like that's not a lot of tournaments are paying that.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
it's funny because I first said, why don't we do money for first, second, and third? Dusty said, nobody's training for first or second and third. I'm like, ooh, so all the money will be for first then. I'm like, fair
Well, you
enough.
think
That's a
that?
good
Yeah,
way to look at it.
they say if you ain't first, you're last, right?
So he's like, yeah, nobody's training for $50. They want the $200. Fair enough.
yeah,
Let's put it all there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no,
especially
I mean,
especially with a trophy for second and third.
yeah.
I think that's more than enough. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like first place, you get the big trophy, you get the cash. Because then
The
too, if
belt.
second and third gets cash, then you're like, okay. But whereas if you lose out on the money, you're like, oh yeah, I gotta train
mean, if
way
you're-
harder for next time.
If your entries down the road, because I mean, you guys are growing and you're going to be one of those tournaments that people are going to look forward to every year. When you start getting towards 400 entries and stuff like that, then I would say, you know what, maybe you should do something like that. Right?
Yeah, you betcha.
The caliber, like you get the whole province coming out to your fucking event.
But that will help if we start getting cash from masters and grandmasters, because that'll bring even more of the older boys too, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
but
there's
it's
ones
like a
that make
snowball effect, Mike, too, because you need once more people come, you can get more money. But then once you get more money, you can put more into it, which causes more people to come.
yeah,
So you just
exactly.
have to
yeah, yeah,
Pros. Look at Winter
like
Blast, 600 entries.
like
yeah,
this is a good start for you guys, I would say, and then see how this goes, look at your budgeting, and then go from there from next time maybe. And that's the thing with the way this is going too, like I think in 3 to 4 years it's going to be a lot easier to get sponsors that are willing to pay more than
yeah,
what they are right now. Like even
yeah.
look at the sponsors you guys have gotten compared to like 5-10 years ago, you know what I mean? Like there just wasn't the same amount of sponsors at
Oh,
all.
100% from our first tournament, our Law Classic one. I think we ended up getting $2,000 in sponsorship, which we had like 50 entries. And then we did that lockdown, which we had 119 entries, and we got $3,000 in sponsors. And then provincials, we got $10,000 in sponsors, and then we had a record-breaking provincials. Our tournament numbers are going up. The last 2 years, we've been advertising or getting about 200 entries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's gonna go up for sure.
mhm.
Definitely
I
will.
mean,
and that was
Dakota touched on it before, cost and how and so was his dad talking about how when you have a family and you have certain costs and you have a dollar figure around that $50 thing, it does take some people out of the game. That said, we also include like lower prices for the amateurs and for the ladies to give them incentive to come out, because I mean, we have ladies classes and there's 3 of them, but half the time we have a hard time filling even that.
I know.
We need more ladies in the competition, and giving an incentive at a lower price helps with that. That said, $50 is kind of the norm now. I mean, it seems like it still seems high to me. It seems like you're paying $50 for arm wrestling. It seems like a lot. It does, but it is the norm, especially in Canada. It's a little lower in the U.S., but their market's different. It's very different.
yeah,
I think here that's a norm, like not just in Alberta, but everywhere else. And I think people who are going to arm wrestle competitively, that's what they need to be thinking about paying. And it should always be a little bit more in the pro, in that it's a challenge to pull there. There's a big money incentive. There's they get better trophies, and everything. We definitely do gear our sport and our event towards the pros, and that's
yeah,
because everybody should be trying to become one. There's not enough people. There's a few people that are on my list, and including myself, I was there as well, where you don't quite feel comfortable to pull pro. You just don't feel like you're there, even if you're winning in the amateur. You don't feel good there. So you put yourself in the amateur, and you smash through it, and you're like, yay, yay, it's awesome. But then the pro comes available, and you're like, no, I don't feel ready. And then you get this animosity of other people that thought they could do well in the amateur, and then this guy shows up, a guy who they think is obviously pro, and he pulls in the amateur. It happens all the time, and part
Yeah,
of
they
the
do.
thing, it happens all the time, and I've done it. I've pulled. Well, the one tournament of yours, I pulled in the amateur. Only reason I did that was because the pro was late, and I
Yeah.
had to get back to town. And I'm like, I
Oh,
can't
the
pull at all
qualifier?
if I don't pull this at all.
That was the
Either I'm pulling
qualifier.
amateur, I'm not pulling at all. I got to go home.
Yeah, well, the
Um,
level was high there anyway, and you know what? You did pretty good. Yeah, you did
yeah,
pretty good there.
guys
but
at the
that's it. I
North
felt bad
America.
about it because it wasn't proper. I should be pulling exclusively pro, and there's many guys who think that as well. But you can't count out how someone doesn't feel they're there yet. I'm hoping that in the future we don't get people that just want an easy ride.
Well,
That's what we're trying to get away from.
yeah.
Is that easy ride, and it happens so much in our sports, in arm wrestling in Alberta. It's that easy ticket. So we trying to give better rewards, better cash, better trophies,
Better
a
incentive.
better damn good reason
Yeah.
to pull pro,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
give yourself a chance. Even if you got a 3rd place trophy, it's going to look better than the medal you got in amateur.
Oh, I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. That
At
motivated me.
at the North Americans, man, there was a whack of people that pulled the open, that pulled the amateur, like a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Like Corbin, he after he got third in the right arm 105 class, he had already entered amateur on the day of because he just wanted to arm wrestle, not thinking we're at the North Americans, you know what I mean? And he ended up, and then he's like, geez, I feel like an idiot. I said, no, look at all these other guys they just come to pull. You travel halfway across the continent to freaking pull. You might as well pull. And you know what? He ended up getting a gold and silver there.
Yeah.
So, and against half the guys that he pulled in the 105 class in the open. So, guys, I think that's different. In Alberta, everybody on this pod should never see an amateur match. But you go to a level like that and you just go on to arm wrestle, you know what I mean? I think that's a bit different.
You know,
Yeah.
guys sit in there too long. Like, I actually went pro after like 7 months of competing, and I got my party squashed by Byron because I thought because Byron placed at provincials, he wasn't going to pull amateur. Remember that tournament?
Yeah, last year or the amateur tournament. Yeah.
It was like, no, it was 2 years ago now, I think.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Yeah. But anyway, that was my coming out. I was going to win that. I had plans to win that, and that would have been 2 golds amateur. So I was going to go pro. And then Byron went friggin' amateur that day. And I was like, really? Anyway, he beat me that day, but I got second. But I decided to go pro anyway, because you know what? I got sick of the little medals. And I also got, I wanted to learn, because at amateur, you know what? You can do
You
good.
don't learn. They don't pull the same.
You don't.
They don't pull the same.
And the amount you learn and your growth is like 5 times more when you go pro, because once you go pro, you quickly start learning, because you're getting your ass handed to you. So then you're learning, right? You're feeling everything.
Yeah.
You know that, you know what the level is. So when you train, you know what to train to, right? At least
we can look at a guy. We can look at a guy like Dale Kotick.
Yeah.
When he moved into the pros, he was getting destroyed every single damn match, but he kept at it. He kept at it, and now he's winning a lot more than he's losing.
Oh,
that's for sure.
He beat a top ranked guy in the States, that Niles Anderson.
But that's what I mean. Like, you know, you look, because he learned so much. He learned the stuff that he never would have learned in amateur.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's 3 things I want to cover before I go, guys. I'm sorry, but I got to go here. But one thing I wanted to say, James, on your whole financial thing, I agree with you, but I think it's a lot easier to pay $50 when you have a chance of winning 4 times your entry fee. You know what I'm saying? When I'm joining for $50, but I have the opportunity, if I'm good enough, to win $200, I think it's a lot easier to pay $50. It's tough when you're paying $50 and the winning, like, even if it's just like a medal or a trophy, I think there's just something about that cash incentive that really helps a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing I wanted to cover is just when you're jumping into pros, like what you guys were saying, is you guys covered it pretty well, but like, if you want to eventually become like a high level puller, you're better off to every tournament you go to, you pull the highest level of competition, which you can, which is the pros. Because even if you lose twice, you know the level, you understand what you have to get better at. And 98% of the time, if you pull someone in the pros and you wonder what you did wrong, you can go and find them after the tournament and say, hey, what felt weak on me? And usually if someone's way stronger than you, they have a very good time finding the holes, especially if they're a pro. Whereas if you get into a battle at amateurs and you talk to the guy and you're like, hey, how did I lose? What happened? Generally, because they're an amateur and they should be an amateur, they're not going to know. They're going to be like, well, I don't know. I was just pulling really hard and I managed to get through you. So it's a lot of that technical breakdown that I feel like a lot of people are missing.
Yeah, a lot of pros will run and tell you.
That's the best way to put that, Dakota. I agree with that 100%. It's about, like, I've never been to any other sport, and I've done quite a few in my youth, that you could go to someone after. I was in Olympic lifting. I could ask him, well, dude, how are you doing this? I don't know. Or he won't tell you. Boxing, they're not going to tell you how they beat you. But in arm wrestling, they're more than happy to tell you what you could work on and how you can beat that person next time. You want to beat me? Do this. I keep losing to Vitaly every time. And he's flashing me. I still feel like he's not as strong as I am. I still feel that way, but I never get to know. He's taken something out of my game. So it's one of those things where, like, I asked him, dude, what I got to do? He's like, I'm shutting down your hook. I'm just shutting it down. He says, he just telling me different thing about angles and hand position and how I should never be in this position. And I'm like, well, I can't twist your hand there. And he's like, well, that's part of the game. Get your hand stronger so you can, right? He's like, you got to be looking at the top of your hand at the start, not the bottom. And I'm like, well, I can't get there. And he's like, well, get stronger. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's
by
still
then
the
in the setup
information you need.
no, I sorry I interrupted. My bad.
Oh, no, it's okay. Lastly, too, guys, I just want to say, are pros pulling first at this tournament, or are you going to do like it the normal way, like amateur and then women, or
James, did we decide that? Because I kind of think we should pull the pros last.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this comes back to when Brian's tournament, where he I think initially had pros pulling first, and then you kind of get into it and you realize, well, these guys are going to leave. Your pros are going to, or like they're going to get done. They're going to go, and that's what they'll do. So if you want your pros, the guys that people are there to see, and people that you really want are the focus of the event. You need them to be there till the end. Do you want them to pull last? I just think that should always be that way. As far as the rest of the classes, I like the idea of the masters pulling early. So if they want to pull the open, they're a little more fresh. This year we were thinking about more doing starting with the youth, and then going into the ladies. Is that what it was, Mike? I think
Yeah.
the youth, ladies. Then we were going to pull amateur, and then masters followed by pro. What do you guys
okay?
think of that? Do you like
I
that?
I like that personally, especially because I'm
Yeah.
going to be on a bit of a time crunch getting there this time. I'm not going to complain. I think Brian might have a different opinion than me,
I
but
do. Yeah,
I
I do.
gotta I
But it's
gotta go,
okay.
guys. I'm super
Oh,
sorry,
no worries,
but
man.
it was
Thanks for
good
Okay,
seeing
making it.
buddy.
all you guys, and I'll see you guys this
Yeah, you
weekend.
too.
And
Yeah, you will.
198, show up. I'm coming to take that 198 class down. So yeah, see you guys later.
Okay, brother.
Okay, buddy.
Good night.
What is your take then, Brian?
Well, listen. I don't know. Like I agree with everything you said from all those angles. I agree with you. But I also look at it a little different. I mean, the pros, I mean, if you really talk to them, it depends on the events too, right? Like you guys start doing numbers like 400 or 500 and the events are fucking crazy long. Then I would say integrate more tables, more refs, and do them side by side or something, right?
For
I
sure.
understand your tournaments are pretty quick. Like I don't have any complaints on yours tournament and how you're running it. But I know for myself, I want to start putting on some really big events in the next 2 years. And I'm planning on big numbers. So I actually do want to do it in reverse. And you're right, the pros, you want them there. You do and all that. But at the same time, talk to any pro, they feel it's a kick in the face when they got to wait till 9 o'clock at night to pull at a big event. Remember Mayhem at
They're
the
still
mall a few
there.
years ago? Like
Sure, they
Yeah.
say it's a kick in the face. They're always going to be upset.
they
They
pull for
always
20
are,
years,
but
but
they're
they
still
still wait
there.
till 9 to pull. Yeah, I know, but I get it, right? So depending on the event, if the numbers are excessive, I think you could be running pros and amateurs same time. Like a
Well,
lot of
here's the thing
promotions are
is
doing it.
at the North American, Sean ran, he had 440 some entries, and he ran the amateurs last for the major reason that these amateurs can see how things are done and they
That's
can
another
watch the
thing.
pros
That's another
and
thing.
stuff.
Now the amateurs can sit and learn because now they're
Yeah,
invested and they can watch the pros on the table and they can see, oh, look at the way that guy's setting up. Look at the way he's positioned. Oh man, I
Yeah.
can kind of get that. I'm going to try that today. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's I liked how he did. That's why
Yeah, it's a
he
different
had said
angle,
that
right?
at the tournament. Yeah,
but do you
he
think
did.
that switch should? Do you think that switch is something we should look at when our numbers are higher? Do you
Yeah,
think
like
it's necessary at this point though to
no,
go
because
that
it
route?
flows pretty good. I was there. I was there. I've been to the last 3 years, right?
Yeah,
Last 3 years I've been there. So, and they've always ran quick, efficient. So I don't really have complaints, and I don't have a complaint with your view. But I think, like I said, down the road when your numbers start getting more, and to be efficient, I would say, you're making more money anyway. Get the extra 2 refs or 4 refs and
Yeah,
run, 2 to 3 tables, right? And you can run 2 amateur tables and a pro table if you want, or you can run 2 pro tables, whatever one you think is gonna even them together and just fucking have at or just put classes up and bang them off, right? Because you know what? Ideal tournament, no matter what the size, when they finish about 6 o'clock, everyone's happy. Everyone has some beers. They after pull for a few hours. When they go too
yeah,
excessively long, everyone just fucking bails out the door as soon as the event's done, right?
yeah.
what are your thoughts on adding a couple more classes, like a 210-pound class and maybe
Well,
a
I think honestly, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go over the analytics after Saturday and you look at the numbers you have in the classes and closely look at the weights. Like you know what I mean? And then make a decision on it. But yeah,
That's
like
actually a good idea.
yeah,
We don't do enough analyzing after a tournament. We're
yeah, you
usually
have to
just like
analyze.
burnt. We're like
Mhm.
done, and then just let it aside for a
But
month.
you know what though? We have Diane. She takes all the information, the champions, the winners, everything, puts it in an envelope and gives it, and it's in Len's garage. So the information is there for
Well,
us
good
every tournament.
because
So
I'm gonna be talking to Corey Miller. I'm supposed to message him already. He's already told me to PM him, but I just keep forgetting every day. I'm gonna get the airs program and I'm gonna start entering events and I want past it draw sheet or entry form. I want all the entries from the past tournaments because I can backdate them on there and then we all get on the North American rankings then. So
yeah, he was doing it there at the North Americans, and
yeah,
the only thing that I like, and it's because we weren't used to it, is they didn't call anybody's names. You looked
yeah,
at the screen, and your name was in yellow, your match, and it said in purple at the table, and then
yeah,
in green on deck. But they never called your names, so
yeah,
you're always watching the
yeah,
screen. But a lot of times they would hold up because people weren't watching the screen; they're watching the matches, and now they're missing.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then they end up calling the names anyways.
You got to call them anyways,
So
yeah. But you also got to make it like loud and known that the competitors are to tell the scorekeepers that they won. If they
I do that
don't,
every
yeah,
year. I'm
and every
adamant
year
about that.
it's not you get headaches and you just get so fucking frustrated because
Yeah,
I dealt with it. You have to
yeah.
yeah.
make it a priority. Say, listen, if you don't tell them, you might get entered wrong, and guess what? You didn't win. You
That
That's
know?
it.
happened where they put the wrong
Yeah.
winner in, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden now the whole thing shut down because they got matches that shouldn't be
Did it to
happening. And
us. They did to us
It's the
with our
worst thing.
program.
I hate that the most. I
Yeah.
hate that the most. So, I mean, we're at a
nothing
point now
slows
where we
down
know
a
a lot of the
tournament than that.
pullers, but
Yeah,
we
well,
know a lot
yeah,
of the pullers,
exactly.
but still, it's a problem.
No, I agree. I agree. So, like, you know what? I think we got to get a little stricter. And even
Mhm.
with weigh-ins, there's a lot of leniency. We do our best, right? If the person gets a hold of us, I mean, we can do the paperwork for them ahead of time and make sure that the name's in, but they got to be there for weigh-ins, right?
Yeah,
So, like, even with me, like with my events coming up, it's going to be weigh-ins or the night before between this time and this time and till 11. Guess what? If you're late, you guess what? I'm sorry. No. Like it's going to get so strict. I'm going to make it so strict because with these digital programs, they're not easy. You can't just go back and you got to redo the whole
No,
fucking class again if someone shows up
yeah,
late. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And then we're
yeah.
starting at one, you know what I mean? It's not fair to anybody, right?
no.
So everybody knows this is the way in time. This is the way in time. Either you can
There's
make it or
always
you
that
can't.
chatter in the background. And when you're an event organizer and when you're an announcer like I've been doing, and you hear the chatter in the background, why is the event an hour late? Why is it back? Why is it beyond? Well, I'm waiting on getting draw sheets
Mhm.
together, and they can't get the draw sheets together because they're dealing with late entries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But they want to give
exactly.
people the opportunity to enter.
Yeah,
So you're kind of caught. Do I wait an extra half hour for these guys to enter?
I
Or
know.
do
I know.
we just start?
But
The hell with them.
I'm gonna start making it like stern, even in my promotion though. So like I'm gonna be promoting it and I'm gonna be promoting it sternly. Like
Yeah.
these are the way in town and I'm sorry, there'll be no exceptions. And it'll be like bold black letters,
Yeah.
exclamation. Like you know what I mean? Because the
Yeah.
reason is just you gotta do it. And we want to be professional and we want to run professional events. We have to be professional.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
We can't run them like we've done it for years. We got to be more professional now. And it will make not only that, your event is going to run more smooth because now when weigh-ins stop at 11:30, 12 o'clock, you're calling the first match and we're
Yeah,
underway. Like
yeah,
not, sorry, we need another 20 minutes. We had 5 late entries, stuff like that. Like we got to just I know it sucks, right? Because some of these guys well, they're all our friends. All the arm wrestlers are my friends,
Mhm.
but I have to, make a stand and say no. Like, these are the weigh-ins, and that's to be there. And it's been posted for 3 or 4 months.
And
Like,
it's not just that weigh-ins, Brian. There's also during the event. One of the key
mhm,
things that we should all work on doing better, and Butcher brought this up in provincials, because
mhm,
I asked him, what do you think of our event? How do you think we ran it? What can we do to improve it? And he loved our event. He loved the way it ran. He thought everything was great, but he had one critic, and he said, what you should try to do when you have larger weight classes is to get everybody corralled into one spot. None of this going back and forth to the table. You're in your weight class. Once your weight class is called, you're
Boom.
standing
up
in a
there.
We did
corralled
that. We
zone.
did that at provincials at your event 2 years ago. Remember?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were doing that.
We tried that. We didn't do as well as we should have with that. We needed to be more specific about that. But
Oh, I thought it was
that's
pretty
the
good.
idea.
My class, when I was in the Masters with Josh and all those guys, and we were just all in a big pile right near where the table was. Yeah.
So
That's
when you
where
get
they were
called,
this weekend
it's
too.
seconds and you're at the table.
Exactly. Exactly. And you're right.
So
I
yeah,
think-
James, when you're announcing everything, you say, okay, we're calling the 155. I need everybody who's in the 155 over here.
a stage,
176
make a
and-
staging
yeah.
area. Make a staging
Yeah, we
area.
have one. Yeah, there'll
Yeah.
be one. Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
There's enough room. And also because I'm putting the bout sheet guys into the state or into the DJ booth, our
Mhm.
stage is going to be opened up a bit more because we won't have those
Okay.
tables there too. So
Yeah.
we might be able to make an entrance on both sides. Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be great, especially if you got, and then you can segregate it where,
Yeah.
okay, 154 lefts, you're on the right side of the stage, the staging area, and then we got 176 amateurs, fucking the left side of the stage. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
beat, right? And that
Yeah,
way
you bet.
you don't have guys missing their name being called and shit either, or stuff like that. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, where's Buddy? What do you mean? Everyone's there because they're all preset. You know what I mean?
And if they're not, if their name was missed, at least you're listening for your name and you're like, hey, I wasn't called. Oh, sorry, we missed you. Or
Exactly.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another thing that's beautiful with the digital program that we had last time. It only needed me and the guy running the program. That's
Because
it.
you're only
Two
clicking
guys.
the winner. You're only clicking the
Yeah.
winner. That's it.
I
I know the program. Yeah.
Yeah,
We might be able to
it's
get
simple.
a TV where he's able to put the names on a TV for the weight class, maybe, James. I just
Yeah.
I mean,
thought of
we'll
that
get
right
there.
now.
I don't think we're there for this event, but the future would be great to have screens
Yeah.
showing the
Yeah.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
boys, I got to get out of here.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate everything. And Brian, and we'll see you this weekend. Appreciate
sure.
this, guys. So
I'll be there,
we'll
brother.
chat soon.
Friday night, I'll be weighing in.
All right, we'll
Mhm.
see you then. James,
Peace.
we'll see you,
All
boys.
right. See you, Mike.
Yeah.
All right.
So, well, really quick then. So, what another thing you should do too is, like you said, if you're calling the weight class, right away, name off every single individual in that weight class.
Yeah, I do that as well.
Yeah.
When I announce the weight class, I announce the names and I tell them, you're in this weight class. We need you at this part of the stage.
Mhm.
And that's where you'll be until your class is finished. And it is critical. I'll say it each time. It's critical that you need to let the scorekeeper know you won the match.
Yep.
Period. There's no question. If you don't do it, and the pros are the worst because they got more excitement, they
They
got
go
more
bang,
energy.
they walk away. Yeah.
They take the win and they're gone, and they assume you know who won.
Yeah.
Don't do
yeah.
that.
No.
Yeah.
No. Especially because sometimes the people, if it's Bonnie there or whoever's there doing it, their heads are down, right? Like they're
Absolutely.
doing stuff they didn't see. They're like, oh, who just won that match? And all you need to know is the name so you can click that he won, right? And then the bracket just moves them over, right? So it's really easy.
It is beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
I like it when it runs well. We like in our last tournament, Lethbridge. Ronnie's guy. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name.
Jackson,
But,
was it Jackson?
That's it. He ran it beautiful. We
Yeah.
only had a one little hiccup, and that was mostly because somehow a name got missed
That's right.
in the weight class.
That program's perfect, but if you miss a name, then it's tough because now it
It is.
screws it right up. You can't just add. You have to remake the whole bracket.
Then
So-
that's what he had to do. He had to recreate the bracket,
Yeah.
which still didn't take him long to do, but it
No,
was
no, but it's a headache and it can cause
It's a
issues,
headache.
right? Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, it sounds like you got a good go on this one. It sounds like it's going to be better. And you know what? I like your attention to detail too. I think it's good that you're looking at these analytical things too. Like, you know what I mean? Like what would make it better? You know what I mean? Looking at the numbers, thinking about new weight classes. Well, yeah, go over the, the entries, look at the weights, look at the numbers in each class. And then, you know what? If it doesn't support another weight class, then don't worry about making another weight class, right? You don't want to do weight classes just to make everyone happy, and then you got 3 people in every weight class because that sucks too.
Yeah.
Right?
That does suck.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
feel like, oh yeah, I got second, but there was only three of us. You know what I mean? And I feel like a
That
bonus, right?
that sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah,
anyway,
I've gotten gold in a weight class with no one else in it.
well, yeah,
Doesn't make you feel like a champion.
no, my first, well, everyone said, oh, you won your first tournament. I'm like, there was only three of us in the class. So I
Hmm.
only got to arm wrestle two guys. Yeah, I won, but you know what I mean? I didn't count that, right? That's why I said I got to win another gold before I go pro. But I never did. I got second that time to Byron. And I just said, you know what? That's good enough because if Byron didn't pull the amateur, I would have won. So, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm going pro now. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So, and did you hear it? Has Byron been training? Because I was
Um,
get motivated.
Byron doesn't train and he still kills everybody. But
I
I mean,
know.
he trains by wrestling bears and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I know.
I don't think he doesn't arm wrestle so much as he just trains
Yeah, I
by
know, I know. But if he worked on
whatever he
that,
does.
if he worked on that endurance and trained a bit, he'd probably get his revenge on me. So,
Well, yeah, he's not training angles. He's not training, position or nothing like
yeah.
that. He's just raw power.
Oh, he's so
And
strong until he's not. He actually
yeah,
diminishes. Yeah, he diminishes fast. But he's such a tank. Like I don't
yeah,
know, like naturally gifted. You know, like that's what
yeah,
I'm saying. Like if Byron trained the way I trained, I think he'd be like knocking on elite stores. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And
No, for sure. Like he's
yeah,
got all that hand. Like he's got the power in the hand control. He's good.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of that in our club. We need to be more committed to training. I mean, we hear the things that are happening along the province in Red Deer and everywhere,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we just think, wow, these guys got a way better grip on training than we do. And because there's still this idea of going into the club and every day you got to give 100%,
yeah,
and you're
yeah.
not learning. Where
No,
Sean will come down into our club and he'll be like, no, 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 I don't want to do that. I want to
60,
set up and
70%.
I
Yeah,
want to work on some angles. I want to work on some different positions
yeah,
and see if we can get out of them. Like
yeah.
put me in a losing position and see if I can
Exactly.
pull my way out.
Yep,
And we
yep.
don't do enough of that. And
No,
that's
he
got
does
that's got
that.
to get better.
Well, yeah, because Sean, he always drills that into me. He was the one, Brian, you're going too hard. You're going too hard. I'm like, okay. And then actually it was Ty Sekal's memorial. Me and Travis Robertson were pulling. And
Right.
we were doing, remember we did a little after pull after the
That's
memorial?
right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and we were pulling, and Sean's right there going, remember, 70%. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, I'm like, it's Travis Robertson. It's like, don't matter. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, practice pulling with Travis. So I'm trying to go 70%, and he drags me down near the pad. And I'm like, ugh. And then we start, and then I'm like 70%, and he drags me again. Like I'm almost stopping him, but I'm not, right? So and then I'm like, okay, Brian, what do you do? So I'm holding him. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I just shot my elbow. Next thing you know, I was here and I pinned him 70%.
Nice.
And I was like,
Yeah.
it clicked. That it was like a moment. It just clicked. I'm like, oh, I get it now. So now at
Mm.
70%, okay, I'm not successful this time. I change it up. I try something else at that same power level. And now I figured out a way to beat him using only 70% of my power. So I think, there's those little things that, now you can start identifying with things. You can feel and you remember, right? You're like, oh, when I do
Yeah.
this, oh, that, you know what I mean? With that pressure. And I think that's how like we really grow in practice. And I mean, Matt always says it too. Matt says, Brian, don't go so damn hard. You're redlining. And I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
So the last year, basically, I've improved a lot. Like my biggest improvement since I started was in the last year, just
Yeah.
because I started training properly and approaching and looking at everything differently. Right.
Having the right training partners is key as well. I mean, you got to have somebody that's like-minded. If you get a bunch of guys in the club that all they want to do is come into the club and show how much of a man they are and smash through everything, and nobody learns anything, well, you don't really grow.
Yeah, and they
We got
don't
I
do
got a
well.
guys. I
Yeah.
love pulling the guys that I have no business pulling. Like Dusty, he'll come in and he'll always want to pull. I'm not going to turn him down. I
Yeah.
can't do nothing with him, but I always learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he
Exactly.
really targets some of those spots
Yeah.
that I'm strong against everyone else, but
Hmm.
against him, I got nothing. But it
Hmm.
really helps me work that
Hmm.
area well. Like,
Yeah. It's like a
where you think,
workout.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm just going to use my ace all the time because it's really good. Well, then
Yeah.
you hit a guy who's got an answer to your ace, and
Hmm.
now you better learn some other stuff.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Well, even with Matt, that's what Matt always tells me. He goes, just take your time, Bry. Feel it. and then
Mhm.
he'll give me like 50% and allow me to work a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
we all kind of pull like that now, and it's really rubbed off on everybody. And when you get a newer guy and he comes in, he tries to be that practice champ, he gets
Yeah.
pretty much he gets centered out pretty quick now. It's like,
Hmm.
hey, settle down. You know what I mean? Let's just work.
Hmm.
What do you want to work on? Oh, I really want to hook. I'm like, okay, well, let's work on a hook. Let's start off. We're gonna go slow, and then as we go, just slowly ramp up. Like you can go at 90% in practice, but take it slow. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
communicate. Another thing is communication with the person across the table. Not
Yeah.
enough arm wrestlers. They just go, oh, and they start arm wrestling. No communication, no nothing. It's just like, hey, man,
No.
how's it going? Hey, what do you want to work on today? Okay, well, I'd like to work on it. Can we do both? Okay, man, cool. Okay. Oh, yeah. Is that how you want? Oh, you want me to low hand you? Okay. You know what I mean? And you can
Yeah.
communicate, and then you get the most out of the person on the other side of the table.
Yeah.
Because you can go to practice and everybody just wants to pin you, and you got nothing out of that practice because everybody just, like you didn't work on anything. You know what I mean? This way, if
Yeah.
you're communicating always with the person across the table from you, you can really key in on, what you want to accomplish in the practice session, right? So,
In your club, there's not one guy that hasn't leveled up,
no,
right? And
we've
it's
we've
probably
been going
because
like
of that
this.
ethic that you guys have. They've
Yeah,
leveled up like crazy, become one of the most feared clubs in Alberta. So
yeah.
obviously, getting everybody on the same page to do that
Mhm.
is going to make your club stronger and better. Red Deer's doing the same thing. Sorry,
I am
Medicine
Red
Hat.
Deer. I am Red Deer. Yeah.
Medicine Hat with is what I meant to say
Yeah, yeah.
is with Eugene. He's really bringing those guys together. They're leveling up crazy. I mean,
Look at
Medicine
Sergey.
Hat is
Look at Sergey. Sergey went from
Sergey becoming a absolute beast.
yes,
Like
he's gonna be a good, like almost elite, semi-elite level soon. Like,
right,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
And I mean, I was really impressed with Dalton Howden. He's
yeah. Look,
really
look at
leveling
him.
up as
Did he
well.
start training now? Because he's way
I
different.
I don't know. He's just way different. Like he's
Yeah.
just way
I
stronger. It seems
challenged
like
him 2 summers ago. I challenged him to a super match. I don't think I'm gonna challenge him now.
no,
It's
like
pretty good,
he's.
man.
I don't know what he's doing in training, but he is just seeing the videos of him pulling and the dude's leveled up. Like
Well,
I used to see how he worked angles and how he would even
yeah.
approach the table, and he seemed there was some disconnect
And
in the
he's
way he
different.
pulled.
He's
It's
different than
not
his
now.
brothers. He's different than
Yeah,
his brothers. He's
yeah.
a
He
lot
doesn't pull the
different.
same way as he
Not
doesn't pull
even
the same way.
close. Not
No,
even close. Not even close.
no, no.
He actually is more static, and he actually, like you said, I think he likes to work angles, and I
Yeah,
think he would rather get hand control off the go than go to the pad because
right.
it seems like that's what he goes. He goes for that hand control, and then he takes you for a ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where
Whereas
Dustin and Dylan both want to go boom. Yeah.
Dusty's more like he'll start in one hand position in one center, and then he just strikes through that exact position. He barely cups, he barely pronates, he starts that
Bam.
way, and
Yeah.
it's bam.
Oh, he gives
Yeah.
everything. He just puts everything wham, right? So
Yeah. So, he doesn't care if he doesn't get his cup or his anything. It starts that way, and that's the way it hammers through.
it's
It's hard
moving.
to
It's
stop.
just moving. Yeah, it's just moving. I
And
know.
it is finger pressure is going to prevent you from doing what you want to do every
Well,
time.
I've been training ever since I took an L recently, and ever since I lost that match, I've been just going nuts with the statics. So
Hmm.
uh, because I know that what I got coming in the next year with nationals, provincials, everything, I'm gonna have to be efficient stopping the hitters. Like I can't, you only in a tournament you only get one chance, right? Like bam, it's over, right? So
Speaking of nationals, Brian, are you going to ever make a run for it
this
as
year,
far
I'm
as a
going
host?
this year. Oh,
As a
yeah.
host?
Well, yeah. Well, you know what? That you're right. You know what? That nationals, I did. We're going to be talking actually the clubs. What I'm thinking for nationals is we come together, right? We come
Yeah,
together, and it's not just Brian's running nationals. You know what I mean? It's going to be, you know what? Like the Alberta fucking Union of Arm Wrestlers is going to hold fucking, nationals because my vision for Alberta arm wrestling, and I'll tell you, it's big. Like I have big
right.
ambitions, and they're long-term goals. Like where, you kind of got the wind of it before and it kind of went sour, but I would like to have us under one umbrella And of course, we got our own identities. We got our, Lethbridge Club, Red Deer Club, and everything. But I mean, a league that actually works on its own and will hold provincials for Alberta, will hold nationals for Alberta. That will have a treasurer that gets voted in by the membership of Alberta. It'll have a president that eventually, like if I help start it, I might be president in the beginning, but I'll have elections every 2 years or whatever it is, and we'll actually nominate our president, vice. I want an official body, a legit arm wrestling body for Alberta.
I mean, we are supposed to have that now with Alberta
Well,
Arms
we
Wrestling,
don't
right?
really though. We don't really though. So like we have it kind of, but I'm talking about like legit. Well, even the clubs have to pay. Even the clubs have to pay into
Right.
into the board, right? So when you hold an event, even for if we hold events, we'll. I mean, no one's legally obligated to do it, but we're gonna sign. We're gonna sign like it's something that's going to be an agreement, and it's like we just all honor it as arm wrestlers, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. The way it is now, it's funky, and I'm not knocking. I'm part of the board too, right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still see something better for us, though. I see
Yeah.
something
Better
legitimate.
organized,
Yeah, better
better,
organized, and
better as a unified province.
yes, and we'll have a treasury. So when we have up and coming stars, right? Like, some of the young girls that are coming up, like Amberin. Look at Amberin. She just rocked it at the Junior
Yeah.
World Championships.
Yeah.
Let's say she wants to she's going to Worlds representing Alberta. Well,
Mhm.
we could do a vote. We could have meetings, like meetings 12, 10 times a year where, executives from all the clubs and that we have meetings. It could be conference meetings, whatever. But I might say, listen, I actually put a motion in. I'd like to help support Amber and go to fucking Malaysia. You know what I mean? And we could vote on it and we can actually help our athletes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and
something big that works for all of us.
mentioning Amberin is a really good point because when I think of Amberin, I can't help but think about Layla, and
Yeah.
and
Oh, Layla.
and
Yeah.
when you mention about incentives and you mention about the sport growing and you mention about people wanting to be a part of that sport, it needs to be big enough and it needs to be important enough for a person to prioritize it. I think
That's
Layla
right.
doesn't because there's other sports that she's interested in and would
Mhm.
rather do because there's a
She's
bigger
such a
incentive
natural
to
arm
do
wrestler.
to be better at that. But as
Yeah.
a natural arm wrestler, she could be amazing. However, we're not that sport there yet.
Mhm.
We're not there yet as a province, and we're not yet there as a sport. But the opportunities with the right people
That's
involved,
right.
it could definitely be
Well,
there.
none of us are ever going to stop arm wrestling or loving arm wrestling. It's till we die, right?
No,
So
you're
like,
roped in now.
yeah, so like, if it was better organized and not only that, it's not to make money. This is the thing that's so cool about it because we can
Yeah,
grow and do big things for the province and everybody has a say because no money can be spent unless it's voted by the membership. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like money would accumulate, and these events would happen, right? But like no outside spending could happen. Like I couldn't just say, "Hey, look at the pot growing." No, I would have to bring if I wanted to do something for arm wrestling in Alberta, I'd have to put no, I would have to what do you call it? I would have to put a motion forth and it would be
yeah,
voted on. It would be voted
yeah,
on. And the representatives, every club registered with the new body would have representatives from every single club. So when a
yeah.
vote happened, every club would have the right to vote. So no decisions would be made without you know what I mean? Without a fair vote from all the clubs. I'm talking about bringing
Yeah.
us together so strong where we're intertwined. The only thing that keeps
So,
us separated is our tribe, our tribe, like Lethbridge, Red Deer, you know what I mean? Calgary,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I think it's, like, yeah, the current body, they've been doing it so long, they probably don't like the idea of it, but they can be part of it. Just we'll all be part of it. You know what I mean? But I think it'd be nice if we had a voting system where we vote our representatives in, and also we start actually growing the sport and pool money together because it would pool because you hold an event and you give 5% of the profits to the whatever the
absolutely,
federation. I hold an event, I give 5% of the profits, and that money stockpiles where we can hold nationals, this, and you know what I mean, all this stuff. You know,
exactly.
yeah, we could do all kinds of stuff. We can even
Yeah,
do, yeah, we can even do for use and stuff. Like I said, we can do sponsorships right from just on a vote right from the board. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, when I was in Saskatchewan and I was in Olympic weightlifting, we had a board of directors. We had to vote it in everything, and any profits that we got, they had to be accounted for. We sent athletes all over the world on planes and stuff, like all over Canada rather, and junior nationals in Prince Edward Island and all the way to Vancouver and everything and all over the place. It was sponsored by Sask Lotteries, but that's only the money body of it. That is, we can achieve that through events, but still use it the same way.
Same way.
So that if we're putting that 5% in from events, we can still sponsor athletes to go to events across Canada, because we'll have some of that capital to use towards that.
Well, that's what
it doesn't matter where the money comes from. It matters how we manage it.
Exactly. And I think, you know, with things being voted in and having like a treasurer or recording set, you'd be, you know, you'd have a recording secretary position, you'd have a treasurer position, a vice president position, and a president position. But they would be voted, they would be all elected people. You know what I mean? And it'd be, and you know what? We are that. You know what? How many clubs don't you know everybody from? Like, I'm friends with every single club. I have friends in every aspect of in Canada, but like definitely Alberta. So it's not like we're not just all intertwined and brothers already. You know what I mean? We see each other at the same events. We know everybody. So why?
I mean, we got strong connections to BC and to Saskatchewan. I mean, you know, as well. Even Western Canada is basically a unit.
Yes, yes, exactly. And I mean, this summer, I won't be announcing it yet, but me and Stu Bellick are sitting down next month when he moves back to Canada, because he goes away to Mexico in the winter. But we're gonna be sitting down talking, and we're looking at doing a big event where it's gonna be like bring the Eastern Canada this way, and it's gonna be Western Canada versus Eastern Canada. And it's gonna be big. It's gonna be like massive super matches, right? And there'll be an event. There'll be a pay-per-view, and then there'll be an event.
Nice.
And I want to talk to Matthias, because I'd like to use PremStream, what Mac uses. Yeah. So anyway, big. It'd be like, you know, I'd try to get Pork Chop. Jason Constantini now, he's like I think he's number 1 in Canada now on the left. He just beat Pork Chop. So I think,
one major draw, and everybody knows this, is Devin Lorette, obviously.
Of course.
Anywhere he goes, a massive following. No matter what, if he's doing, he could be doing a clinic, he could be doing a practice. He, like when he came to the province, he hit 3 different cities, and everywhere he went, it was full of people. And you get a guy like Devin down, even to do to get a coach clinic going or something like that, a clinic. Like, I know he's trying to take a break, or he does what Devin does, but I'm sure he'd be on board with obviously he's probably not cheap to bring him down,
but he's not that expensive. There's other guys that charge the same amount. Like Hutchings charges the same amount as Devin.
Right.
So,
but and Devin just draws a crowd. Yeah. Like everywhere he goes. So that just having him there, having a clinic,
Matt and Devin together at the event too would be amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I was thinking about trying to get Milo and Auden down. So they might go for a match too, right? So,
hey, honestly, invite Auden down, and Devin might come anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's even smarter.
Yeah. Well, there was a time when we wanted to put Auden against Ty. We thought maybe that could ever happen, but that was just as Auden was just sort of getting his feet wet in the sport, right? And we thought that could be a good match.
Mason and Auden. Yeah.
Mason and Auden, I think, would be a good. I mean, I think that would be an interesting match that people like to see.
I think Mason kicks his ass right now, but I think Auden's on an upwards trajectory though, and by the time that match happened, I bet you it'd be a pretty good match.
Yeah.
No, I'm not bashing Auden at all. I'm saying that Mason is world level. So
and Devin is very well aware of Mason.
No, I know, because he knows that Mason went to Arm Wars and all that. Mason's just slaughtered people. I mean, that Aiden LeMay guy that he took on at City Slickers, he was no joke, and Mason made him look like an amateur.
Yeah.
And he just beat Jock Bellin twice on the left and hitting. So.
And never mind just talking about Mason. What about Scott? Scott's killing it too,
Scott's really good. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And he's a different type of puller. He doesn't have the fast twitch muscles that Mason has. He's more of a calculated hit for hand control, and then he's got a really good top roll on him, right? So
He reminds me of the way the leeches pull a little bit. He's got that supinating, that hard supination with a fast shoulder drop.
yeah, he does
That
that.
if you can't get in front of that, it's just over. He's locked onto your wrist and he's pressing down on it.
He got me hooked. Actually, you know what? My very first tournament, he had a super match against Dale. Were you there in Drayton Valley? Did you go
I
to that?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I won
Yeah.
that. That was my amateur debut. I won the amateur that day. I was
Right.
all
Yeah.
happy. But yeah, that was my first tournament ever. And then
Oh, I didn't
Dale,
know that.
yeah, and then Dale pulled Scott DeRossi. Dale, that was a banger of a match, man. That match,
Yeah.
honestly, I got hooked. That match, I thought it was like lightning. I was like, this is fucking awesome. And
It's
then
actually a super match I would like to see next. I would like
yeah,
to see Scott DeRossi
Dale,
pull against Dale. I
yeah,
would like to
I
see
tell
that
you,
match.
Scott wants that one back. Yeah, Dale won that day. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know Scott's got a lot better.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Scott's really good. Yeah, my son-in-law there got a big win on him last year at provincials. Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Nice.
Jared. Yeah, Jared's getting really good. Yeah, he's getting really good. He's got a big super match coming up too.
Yeah.
In Canada. Yeah, and yeah, that's another thing too. We got to get more. Can you travel?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, are you down to take one of these matches in Montana coming up in the next
My
5?
wife is terrified of the US right now, so it's a negotiation.
Oh, oh, it's great. Montana's awesome. Every time they treat me so, they're such good people there, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I go there and I don't want to come. I'm actually looking to buy some land there. I'm trying. I'd like to get
Yeah.
dual.
I mean, we used to go to Whitefish every year, and we
Oh,
used to go at the 4th of July, and it was we always called it Redneck Rampage because at the 4th of July they fire off in the campsite all the fireworks, and it's mostly filled with people from Alberta, and it's 3.5 hours of rampage.
yeah.
Good times.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, we've been going down doing all these events in Montana, and I'm telling you, like Armsgeddon, that was the best event I ever did. I love that event. It was so good. I've
They're
been
doing really
back.
good video stuff too,
Yeah,
right?
do you like it? Don't you like that shit? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Dion and his group have got that shit together.
yeah. Well, when I did Armsgeddon, like no one even knew who I was before that. And like I had people telling me, "Oh man, you pulled that Chuck Young guy, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
what I mean? And
Yeah,
then
yourself and Dakota's getting a name for himself down there too,
yeah,
boy.
yeah. And my daughter
Miles is
even
getting a
pulled.
name up here. I mean, it goes
Yeah.
both ways.
My daughter got to pull on the main card there, and she won her match. Yeah, she won 3-0 in her match. So
Nice.
I put her on the map. And that was the main, yeah, like the prelims happened, and then my daughter was the first match of the main event. So it was pretty good. She won, Jared won, he's now my son-in-law, pretty much. And then my daughter won. Yeah, so we all three of us kicked ass that day. Yeah, actually we beat them 21-6 or 7. It was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like 17-6 or something. I think was
Yeah, Mike's been trying to get me down there to pull that guy they call the unit. I don't know who that is, but
the unit. Yeah.
the unit, I don't know. Or the guy that does
Yeah.
he does a lot of the announcing and stuff, or he does a lot of the
Playboy
promotion
Roy.
as well. Yeah, maybe that's his name. Is he a 176er?
Yes. Yeah. Brad
Yeah.
pretty lost weight to pull him last time, but Brad lost. But Brad's got a rematch with him April 5th. And that's a big match, man. Yeah. They're doing a 190 weight limit on that one.
Brad's leveling up though.
Oh yeah, he's training with us every week now.
Yeah, Brad's getting strong.
Yeah. We do the Deadly Dungeon on Sundays. Yeah. If you're ever in Calgary, come and you're on a Sunday, come work out with us. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, last weekend it was Brent Bellamy, Dale, Brad, and me. And then I hit a couple PRs. No, the week before I hit it. Yeah, we did it like a 230 PR, got like 4 reps. And then
Nice.
we did a 145 single arm table curl with a dumbbell. Did that. I think I did it for 9 or something, 8 or 9.
Damn.
And yeah, this past weekend I only did it 4 times. So we were beat up because we went for PRs 2 weeks in a row. But anyway, we're doing crazy shit, man, and we're getting strong. Yeah. So we got guys coming down like Cyborg Thomas. He'll come Sundays sometimes and train with us. And
Yeah.
who else has come over? Cody Sluggett, Mighty Mouse. He comes down. He came down from Red Deer to practice with us on the Sunday. It's just a pure
Isn't he
weight
a strong kid, eh?
He's gotten so much stronger, like so
Yeah.
much. Yeah. And
Yeah,
like
when he beat
learning,
Jeremy, I think everyone was surprised
yeah.
at how strong he was.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, he's training like all our levels in Red Deer we're all kind of going like this right now,
yeah,
because we're just all like moving up together. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
Hmm.
yeah, and it helps too for me and Zach and Dakota, because the three of us to get to do podcasts, we talk arm wrestling. Even the theory we talk helps us in arm wrestling, because we're talking arm wrestling like 3-4 days a week sometimes, right, on the podcast. So
It's always on your head. You're just going to grow better because it's always on your mind.
it's always on your mind. It's like bro
Yeah,
science, right? And then, even when we start talking about it, I'm picturing in my head what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh yeah, yeah.
mm,
So yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty awesome, right? The sport is,
yeah,
I don't know, it does a lot for me in my life,
yeah, absolutely. Me as well.
yeah. So,
Well,
but
thanks for
okay,
inviting me
buddy.
on your podcast, buddy. I
Oh, anytime,
appreciate it a
bro.
lot.
Anytime, we'll get you on again.
This is the first time, and it's been awesome.
Yeah,
Learned a
is it?
lot.
Yeah, it's awesome just getting on here and shooting the shit. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not just that. I think I learned a little bit about maybe moving forward on some of the things that are exciting in the sport
Yeah.
in Alberta, and some of the things that we could do better to run our tournaments, and hopefully we all grow from that.
Well, exactly. We get, well, because we all have different minds, and when sometimes you might be looking at something at a different angle than me, and I'll go, oh yeah, I never really looked at it that way, and
Yeah,
you're right. It helps us expand and get a feeling, you know what I mean? Because we all just want the best for the sport. So,
yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
but yeah, well, no, thanks again, brother, and we'll have you on again every time we do an event. Maybe after this weekend, we'll do another one. We'll do a post Iron Core League event. We can talk about the winners and the belt winners and shit. Why not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
sounds good,
All
buddy.
right.
Okay, man. Well,
Thanks
you have a
again,
good
Brian.
night. Yeah, man, for sure. And thanks everyone for joining tonight. We appreciate you guys big time. Okay.